What's up, y'all? Back again. Shave. Man, I keep forgetting. So what's up, man? You know, like, I should start off by saying that, you know, the past 6 months has been brutal in the markets. Probably one of the toughest in about a couple years. But especially if it's your first time going through something like this, you know, through the downtrend, the drawdown, I mean, and it just feels like you keep buying and everything just keeps going down and down and down, and you're like, man, I'm running out of money. Well, you shouldn't be running out of money. You should be making money elsewhere and investing the rest of it, right? Look at that sun, bro. It's the rays. But yeah, you should just keep investing, you know, no matter what. You just stick to it. Invest into solid names, and that's it, you know. That's how you invest. It really is that easy. It is that easy, but it might seem like things just keep going down and just will not stop, right? Ever. You're like, man, I'm gonna just sell everything. Fuck it, right? You're just like, oh my God, fuck this. That John doesn't know what he's talking about. It's too much pain. Why am I doing this? Why am I seeing my money disappear? Bro, that is at that moment when you're like, you got your finger hovering over that sell button, you're like, you about to say fuck it all, book the loss, right? You're like, well, write it off on my taxes or something, right? Like, you know, that is the best time to buy, man. I'm telling you, man, that's the best time to buy. You just gotta keep buying, right? Just stick with the plan. That's it. And just buy the effing dip. And then people ask, well, when do I sell, right? Well, it depends, you know. Like if you're invested in like just the index funds and just investing on a regular basis, you don't have to sell. You don't have to sell and pay that capital gains, you know. In the future, when you have a shit ton of money saved up and invested, right, you can borrow against it. And then when you leave this earth, you leave that to your family, right? So that's how the game is played, and then they rinse and repeat. You teach them how to do it, you know, and that's it, you know. That's how you do it, right? So that's the game. Avoid the taxes, save yourself 20-30%, right? You know. So but I'm not gonna go into that. I'm just saying, you know, like, it's been a tough time in this market, so you gotta understand that this happens. It needs to happen, right? The past couple years, from 2020, like March 2020, at that bottom when it was just looking like hell, and then when we ran up straight until last November, 2021 November, over a year of just straight up craziness. AMC, GameStop, crypto, meme stocks, Shiba, Dogecoin, all this shit, right? Just running. Like, that's not normal, man. That is not how, you know, tell you the truth, that's not even how a market is designed to work, right? But especially people that are new, they think that's what a market is, right? It isn't. Like, eventually people wise up and like, I'm not buying this shit. This shit's too high. Why the fuck am I gonna buy up here? And then the people that were in early are like, well, fuck. Nobody else is buying. I got a shit ton of profits. Let me fucking sell, right? So that's the mind frame. And then you got the new people coming in that are FOMOing in. They hear their friend is making a shit ton of money. They're like, oh, I got to get in on this action, right? They're just in it for the adrenaline, trying to make a quick buck. They end up buying the top, right? And that's where all that euphoria comes in. That euphoria creates these elevated prices, and people buy into that, thinking it's gonna keep going, and it doesn't work that way. Markets don't work that way. Markets are two-sided. You know, you got buyers and sellers, and you know, if you play that game, it hurts. And I've been there, you know. I wouldn't be saying that if I didn't experience it, you know. You definitely, you know, it depends, you know. They say 90% of traders don't make it. Well, it's because usually they run out of capital, or their morale is so beat up, they're so hammered by the losses that they're like, fuck this shit, it's a scam. That's why they give up. And they don't really understand the psychology of a market, right? The psychology of a market is basically the psychology of humans, right? Understanding how humans think, how the majority will think when this happens. That's how you think when you go into a market, right? Like, how are people going to act when this happens? Or this is happening right now. What are people thinking that is happening? Or what do they think that they should be doing in this moment, right? That's how you got to think. And then you back up your thesis with, you know, market data, right? That's where the market data, reading charts, order flow, right? All the technical analysis, you know. You don't even have to do anything like crazy than technical analysis. Simple support resistance, right? Know the range, right? And match that up with what you can understand about the psychology of the market, right? What are the clown sheep? I call them clown sheep because it's like the herd, right? The sheep, right? That get escorted into the slaughterhouse, and that's where the big players are gonna unload everything on you, right? You got to know how to be on the side of the big players, right? What they're doing, understand what they're doing. They're buying when the shit is bleak, you know, when shit looks ugly, right? That's when they're accumulating and really gathering up their, you know, busting out their war chest and really investing and going hard into these stocks. You don't know that because shit's just like, you see all this shit on the news, you know, market's falling and everything, you know, and you're like, oh my God, the market's terrible. I'm not going to invest in that, right? That's what they want you to do, you know. That's how this game is played. It's just a bunch of people playing a game, right? It's a game. That's all it is. And you know, if you don't understand this game, time and time again, it's gonna hurt, right? So just understand that, and you know, especially during these past 6 months, I haven't gotten a lot of people asking me about the market, right? Like, I used to get, like, at the peak of, like, in October was like the peak when Shiba and all that shit was running, right? And people were messaging me left and right, hey, should I buy this? Should I buy this? Should I buy? And you know, I try to save some of y'all. I'm like, look, I don't know. It's just pretty euphoric right now. It's pretty high up. You should have been buying months ago, right? You know, back in May and June, right, of last year, and then waited, right? Like that's the game. You wait, and then you just unload your shit, right? You take some profit, keep some for the ride, you know, keep enough for the ride, and rinse, repeat. That's how you do it. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that you know, during this whole drawdown I was like all fine and dandy. Hell no. You know, it sucks. Like in a matter of a few months, I'm down multi 6 figures, like it's up there. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, like looking at the accounts and just seeing the beatings, right? Even with taking profits out and everything, I'm still taking those hits, right? But you know, I just push through it. You know, it's just like, you know, you gotta vent. You know, sometimes I vent, you know, tell my wife, like, you know, I talk to my wife about it, and you know, I'm just like, man, it's just like, whoo, you know, it's ugly, right? It gets ugly, but I know, you know, and she reminds me, she's like, you know, but you always say this is part of the game. And I'm like, you're right, you know, she's damn right, you know. And it's good to have that outside perspective, you know, somebody that hears you talk about the markets, right? And they hear what you say, and then and then when you're at that darkest hour, and you're just like, you know, you're like Batman, and he's just like thinking he should just give up, right? And you're just like on the floor, bruised up, wondering what is going on. She comes out of the shadows and just like tells you what you need to hear. You know? And you're like, you know what? I'm fucking Batman, bro. That movie was dope, by the way. I have to say, that was it didn't even feel like 3 hours or whatever, 2.5. But that shit was a good movie. But anyways, wanted to leave that message. Don't get scared. Now shit's pumping, right? Don't get FOMO. If you're gonna FOMO in for the long term. Dollar cost average. If it dips back down, keep buying more, right? That's all I can say, man. But I mean, I think we're still early. I think shit is shaping up now. Starting to shape up, you know? And we could use another scare here, and it would be nice to really fill the bags. I mean, it wouldn't be nice for the account, but it'd be nice to load up, right? But, you know, until next time.